Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. This is Ahmed Haimar from the BNB Chain BD Gaming team. Today, we host our first session of the Football Fiesta sharing session. What we're trying to discuss is the future of football on Web3, in the Web3 space. Today, I'm accompanied by Xander, the co-founder of TopGoal, Tolly Marquez, he's the CEO of ExSports, and Sean Garnier, who's the CEO of Urban Ball, as well as a Red Bull freestyle sports athlete and personality. Welcome, everybody, and thank you very much for joining our discussion today.
Thank you for having us. Thanks for that.
Hello, guys. Thank you.
Let's take a very quick moment for you guys to introduce yourselves as well as the projects if you would like. Let's start with Sean. If you please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience, who is very, very well aware of you as well, but just to make sure that everyone is picked up.
Okay, so my name is Sean Garnier. I'm the first ever World Freestyle Football Champion. I started this journey after I tried to be a football professional. Then I discovered you can play with the ball in different form. Freestyle was the most obvious because it was easy to attract the attention of people. Then I started to do the same on social media, using the tricks to create cool content. I reached to more than 20 million followers all across the platform. And now my goal is to create the UFC of football, and I partner with Tolly and ExSports to build a new empire.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Sean, which leads us to Tolly. How about you introduce yourself as well as ExSports?
Perfect, yeah. My name is Tolly Marquez. I'm the CEO and founder of ExSports. I've been in the sports industry for almost 20 years now, focusing mostly on fighting sports. And then I made a transition in 2019, going from purely promoting fighting sports into also investing into blockchain Web3, because I realized that there's a big potential to create a fan engagement for all other new sports. And this is how I met also Sean Garnier last year. He approached me with the idea of creating the UFC of football. That got me really excited, and then we created this Urban Ball game that is the first Web3 street football game in the world, allowing street footballers to transition from the streets of Rio de Janeiro into a cool mobile game, in which they can receive royalty fees.
Fair enough, and thank you very much for that, Tolly. Last but not least, Xander, you're the co-founder of TopGoal. If you would kindly introduce yourself to our audience as well as TopGoal.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Xander. So happy today to talk to you guys. Thank you, BNB Chain, for inviting me. I was in another live event yesterday evening with Binance Fan Token. So that was 2 events in 24 hours. Super exciting. So for me, I have an engineering background. I chose to enter mobile game industry 10 years ago because I found there were opportunities in mobile football game. Just like I chose to start TopGoal last year because I saw there is great opportunities in Web3. So I have visited a lot of clubs in recent years, seeing how the clubs work and how crazy the fans are. So every time I sit in a stadium with like 40,000 or even 80,000 people shouting out loud, I feel I have chosen the right thing. And for TopGoal, it's a leading sports metaverse. We aim to bridge sports to Web3 and provide a virtual space for stars, clubs, and fans. We have strong connections with some football IP resources. We also have in-house football simulation algorithms, motion engines. You can be a manager, a boss, or even a football legend in TopGoal metaverse. So everyone can share the profits of the ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Xander. And I believe this is the best time during the year, during these years in general, to be discussing specifically the football topic. We're in football season as the magical sphere. So how do football fans connect with sports through gaming? If you could take that, Tolly.
How they connect, in our case, for example, football fans, we are organizing right now tournaments all around the world, where we allow football fans, to participate in our tournaments in the streets of Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo. We recently did something here in Dubai as well. So first way of engagement is they are able to buy the NFTs of the participating athletes that we are scouting in these tournaments, right? So that's the first way of engagement. They are able to support a no-name player by buying their collectible on the Binance NFT marketplace. And then they are, invited to the event. And then they're also able to further engage with the athlete if the athlete becomes an in-game character in the game, right? So there's this whole fan engagement before buying the NFT to supporting an athlete, coming to one of our events to actually participate and see how the athlete competes, and then being able to play the athlete through the NFT in our play-to-earn game. So there's this whole fan engagement journey before, at the event, and after the event.
That sounds a fantastic way to entertain and connect with your audience through gaming. I also want to ask Sean specifically the same question. How do you think the fans connect through gaming? Because Sean, you're the main star of FIFA Street and you have an upcoming game coming out. I would really be interested to see, as a passionate football practitioner in the art itself, how do you feel that gaming connects with the core football audience fan?
I think it's a 360 circle, because we have the opportunity to all play football when we are, young. We play with the ball. Then after that, you cannot play all the time, 24 hours. So you go to your mobile or you go to your PlayStation and you play. And I think now, football resonate for people in a different form. Some people, when they're good with the ball, they are the boss of their circle. But now some people, when they're good at the football video game, they actually resonate in their circle. So I think it's a really nice way football to actually interact with your friends, and the football video game is also fun and attractive. So for me, it's complete the circle. People watch some of our videos online. They got interested by, the excitement of doing tricks and stuff like that. Then after they realize, oh, actually, I'm not maybe able to play like Sean play, but maybe I will be able to play with this character in the video game or maybe interact with him through NFT and everything. So that's how we want to interact with fun and football and gaming.
You know what? I actually agree with that very much, and it resonates personally with me because I wasn't a football fan at all growing up. I come from a family of hardcore football fans, so I deviated away from it. And I only got interested in football when I started playing football with my friends, when you started going to internet cafes and PlayStation cafes and just entertaining each other by playing against each other. And I actually still remember all the players from those games. So it was my introduction personally to football as well. Xander, I would like to ask you the same question as well. From a gaming perspective, specifically in TopGoal, from the data that you see, how do you believe that the fans engage with the football through your gaming experience?
Yes, so football fans playing football games are supernatural. So for Web2 games, they need to buy a copy or download something from the App Store. But for Web3 games like TopGoal, they don't need to download anything. Just open their browser and they can start. And I bet more than 80% of the football fans have tried at least one or two football games. In my opinion, I have two more reasons for that. One is people want to play football, but people cannot play real football anytime and anywhere. So when they want to play football, like 1 a.m. at home, he or she only has two options: maybe play a football game or play urban ball in the living room, probably. So I have a short video showing how powerful you can be in our game. So beating the whole defense line all by yourself. So is Mbappe, because we have the FIFA Pro license, is running to the left side, have a fake move to fool the defender, cut inside, and there are two defenders, have the fake move to the left and to the right, and use your finger to shoot to the top right corner. So everything can be done by the player himself. He can choose to automatically watch or manually make the decisions, something like this one. And there is another reason for people why playing football game is there is only one champion. That is really cruel. Maybe some fans are waiting decades or a lifetime seeing their team winning a title in real life. So football games can help them realize their dreams.
Actually, thanks to the video that you've shown, it also shows two different aspects of specifically the differences between ExSports as well as TopGoal, because you're playing in a game which is very, very strategic and engaging the player on a game level. And also with Urban Ball, they went the other way and they're taking that personal connection of playing and having skills with the ball and being able to play on a smaller level, which is a very interesting approach to both ways. And I wanted to actually say that before I ask what are the main differences between football in Web3 and football in Web2 from your perspective experiences. Tolly or Sean, if you'd like to take that, please.
For me, I think in general, the difference between Web2 and Web3 in sports is that in Web2, it's like a one-way street, right? I've been in sports for the last 20 years, and it was always like a one-way street relationship between the organizer who makes the money and the athlete who becomes now the star, right? The fans was always on the side. We didn't give too much importance to the fans, right? So for example, if Sean comes and plays in my tournament before, in Web2 times, I just create content, I monetize on that, it's all decentralized on my platform, I make the money and I share something with Sean. The fans don't get anything out of him. The big difference now with Web3 in all sports is that we give also a revenue share and power back to the fan community. And this is exactly what we do, right? Every player right now who has the NFT created right now, it doesn't matter if he's the superstar Sean Ganea or an upcoming star from the streets of Rio de Janeiro, they will get the same royalty fees, right? And more importantly is the players who play that character and the fan community who engage with them, they also get a fraction of prize money, of the prizes and all of that, right? And this is the big difference, that Web3 is giving back to the people who deserve it more. And these are the fans and the people who are actually playing the games. Because without them, Sean wouldn't be a star and we wouldn't be, big organizations that can make money.
I strongly agree with that, and I was actually going to ask Sean, because specifically in his case, he is a celebrity in the world of football and in the world of personal talents in street football. So I wanted to see, what do you think specifically, Sean, if you have the capacity to tell us, what do you see the difference in experience between Web2 and Web3, adding to what Tolly mentioned?
I think now it's really early to really measure the difference between Web2 and Web3 for the football specifically. But what I can say is now for me, any footballer create his profile on Web3 to.
Sean, you're cutting up, I believe.
Sean, your audio is gone. We can't hear you.
Sean, your audio is disconnected. I think Sean is in a roll. Hi, Sean. Yeah, I think we can hear you. No, we still can't hear you.
Let's play a game and read his lips what he's saying.
Actually, up until Sean figures out the technical issues that are going on, let me transition to Zender and ask you the same question. Where do you see the difference in the Web2 experience in gaming, football specifically, and the Web3 experience from TopGoals and your own experience?
Yeah, I would say that Web2 football games are more like the fast-moving consumer goods. Their expiration date are usually 1 year or a little bit longer. You play the FIFA 22 and you have a team. But when the FIFA 23 comes out, you go for it. And you never open 22 again. That's reality for a lot of gamers, right? But football in Web3 is built on blockchain. It can reshape the whole system. The fans can manage their own digital identities on Web3 to achieve unique ownership of the data. You are in the football metaverse, everything you do can be recorded and cannot be reversed. So managing a virtual club, taking virtual transfers, everything are more likely a real thing. It can be sustainable and more attractive to the fans. And second, the experience provided to fans is different. We have already seen the power of NFTs combining digital and physical utility. Football in Web3 can cover virtual matchday experience, social fi scenarios, virtual leagues, virtual tournaments, and make them feel part of the club even. These are what TopGoal aims to do, and this is a lot of games in Web3, like for sports are aiming to do. And all of those will happen in TopGoal Metaverse, and we can guarantee something that fans are happy to see.
Thank you very much for that, Zender, and I respect how you did put it very strategically and how Web3 would be able to extend the lifetime value of the client in terms of what kind of entertainment they get from the game they get engaged with from the conception, because the game develops as well as on their journey. Sean, I believe we have you back, and I hope we can hear you again. The last thing that we heard is that you said it's way too early right now to judge on the differences, and I believe you were going to tell us why, but we lost your audio, so if you'd like to pick it up from there.
Yeah. So basically, I was saying I was speaking on the personal level as an athlete. So let's say like 15 years ago when we asked my wife actually asked myself I'm gonna film you and post you on social media. I didn't understand why the value to build your profile on Web2. So I think it's going to be exactly the same on Web3 for an athlete to build his profile, get his NFT, set up some strategic partnership with different brands and everything to be able to resonate later on when everybody will be on the blockchain. It's really important because now, image-wise, when an athlete got, 10 million, 20 million followers, is not the same. His value is different and everything. So I'm believing like if you build your profile on the Web3 as an athlete, it will beneficiate you really. So it's important to be in early stage to understand how it works, and also what's your possibility to interact with fans, how you can build your fan base on the Web3 as well to be able to get the benefits.
Thank you very much for that opinion, and we genuinely value your input a lot because you are a football practitioner and you have your name and face and the company that you're building the goal towards. So we really appreciate your input on this, and thank you very much for explaining it. I want to ask very quickly, Sean, how do you think football clubs can prepare for gaining entry into Web3? I believe you touched on the athletes aspect because that's where your personal experience comes from. But how do you see it transitioning into clubs from your own personal vantage point? Because as you said, when an athlete has 20 or 30 million followers, they are valued differently. Do you think that the football clubs industry would start targeting more athletes to give more engagement and more following to their club and their games?
I think it's already happening. When you see each big club has an esports team already, they are really much attached with gaming. After you see also example like I think Barcelona got Socios, so they were engaging with their fan to own some piece of the club, let's say, and to be able to interact for some decision. Okay, but I think now the next stage will be like how we can interact with the players within the club. Because you see like some player has NFT outside of the ecosystem of the club, but now like how maybe the club can have their own NFT and how like player can, I think some games they already do that, but we don't reach the point where it's the best level where you can like actually have a real link between what's happened in reality and what's happened, what happened in the Web3. And that's what we're trying to do also with Urban Ball. So we're scouting talents, all over the world, and we create their NFT. We put them in our own street football play to earn game. And we want also the reality influence the NFT part where like I can scout a really, really good talent and, I can have a really special NFT. So that's what we're trying to do. And I think we are one of the earliest company to do that. And it's super excited.
I believe so too. You're one of the leaders in the industry and in that field specifically when it comes to football. And I hope to see that what happens in real life gets reflected into gaming at the same time. To us, there's just gaming utopia. Zender, if you would like to add something to that point, I would be very interested to also know specifically from your game's perspective, how do you think the football clubs are preparing into Web3 to engage with in gaming in general? How are they trying to approach it?
Yeah. So in general, football clubs want to embrace Web3, but for the people in the club who are responsible for carrying it out, they are very conservative. They are afraid of making mistakes. So normally they need help from the third-party platform to help them. So for example, Binance Fan Tokens offer services and professional knowledge to football clubs and help them step by step. But it is very important to double check the expertise of the people who they are cooperating with. If they are actually have landing products, because no one wants to see some beautiful slides, but nothing comes out eventually. Host.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Zender. And Tolly, from your perspective and also specifically your experience, how do you see the exact same transition as well for football clubs on a larger scale, specifically when it comes to the actual events and the actual games? How do you feel that transition might be a good pipeline of introduction of more football fans into gaming and more gaming fans into actual real live events?
Yeah, I agree what Sean said in the beginning, that all of these football clubs already have their esports team, because long before this whole hype with Web3 and blockchain started. I know it personally, being on the board of the Muay Thai Federation and Jiu-Jitsu. You know, all of these sport federations, all of these football clubs, and all of these different leagues, they have been trying to get into esports already, right? So, you know, way before all of this Web3 started, they were already creating the esports team. So what they should do is really educate now, you know, the fan community through these esports team, right? Why and what this Web3 is, right? On the other side, I also totally agree where the clubs that are coming in, you know, creating fan tokens with Binance right now is a very simple and nice strategy to educate them in a very easy way, because, you know, we don't want to overwhelm these fans. Same thing what we do with Urban Ball. We are not coming out immediately with an NFT game. We are coming out with a simple free-to-play game where everybody has to shoot a target first to earn some tokens, right? So I think it's the combination of this both. You go out, you know, creating the fan tokens in a simple way so they can get educated, and you use the power of the existing esports team to then explain them what the bridge and how Web3 works and benefits.
Thank you very much for that, Tolly. And I actually am going to open this question, and I would like to see maybe if Zander, you would like to start, because I'm still trying to understand what would be the most important thing when it comes to connecting football with Web3. Are we still concerned about the ownership part, or are we still more concerned about the experience along the longevity of the game part? Or is it?
I think it's.
Or is the healthy mixture?
Yeah, I think it's really important thing is to do the things like a long run, because football fans can be easily converted to Web3. So when Web2 fans come to Web3, I think it's really important is do not misuse fans' emotions, because you need to cultivate fans to become long-term rather than profit-driven. It's a good thing for the whole industry. And the other is football with Web3 must do a good job in diverse empowerment. It can introduce new gameplay to integrate sports and virtual worlds. No matter if it's football star NFTs, fan tokens, or games, it is necessary to highlight their user cases and the gameplay in order to improve the retention rate, because there are not so many fans coming to Web3 yet, like 1 million or not 100 million, right? Maybe 1 million or 5 million, 10 millions. So the retention rate is really important. If you do not do that correctly, maybe they will leave the game with some disappointment, and it's very hard for them to come back. Host.
I actually agree with you very much. Once you build that negative emotion, it's almost impossible to acquire the user again, because they're just not, they have a negative experience with you. And Sean, if I also would like to ask that, I believe that you touched on this point earlier when you said it's the ownership specifically for the athletes, but how do you think would be the best way to go about attracting Web3 users to football?
Okay, you know, when I was young, I was playing 2 games. I was playing FIFA, and I was playing FIFA Manager. I was playing FIFA just to showcase my friend I'm better than them at football virtually. And I was playing Football Manager because I wanted to control a bit the future of the club I like to play with. So I believe it's a really good way to like introduce Web3 to fans, football fans, will be to find a way, first of all, for them to have a good experience. So the way from their mobile or anything they own, like to, and they have the experience is good, but also for them to have a sort of choice into what's happening in the club. I saw some experience already happening here and there. It's not really like finished, but I really believe like the day where a football fan will be able, I don't know, to like support young players to become professional and own a part of his, you know, revenue later on, and they are part of him since he's 15, 14 years old, or, you know, like supporting, you know, the new design of the third shirt of a team, you know, and if they really like have the impact of those possibility to change the choice or anything, that will like really attract the football fans, in my opinion. Because as a football fan, that's what I would like to do. It's like, you know, be more involved in the club, you know, stuff like that. And that's why also we're building with our ecosystem at Urban Ball. We want to create a new league from A to Z based on one-on-one Why? Because if you take Instagram, the biggest account is Ronaldo, not Manchester United. So I believe fans, they are really attracted by the individual side of football, like the athlete, their news, why they transfer there, what they train, what they eat, and everything. So to building a one-on-one league, football related, it's really attractive in my opinion. And to have fans be able to interact with this league, with the player through NFT and Web3, will be a big success and a big way to attract, a new audience into the Web3 and football.
So I believe you're a strong believer of the longevity of the engagement between the athlete as well as the users, as well as the supporters of the athlete that are following them on their journey from their start up until they start playing professional, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my positioning.
Thank you very much. And Tolly, would be lovely to have your 2 cents on the subject as well.
Yeah, for me, you see, we're all saying that Web3 is about giving back the power to the fans. Web3 is giving rewards to the fans. So I think the most important thing on that one right now is that we are true to that, right? So not a situation like FTX happens where people trust their money to them, then it suddenly disappear. So what we have to be careful is if we go out right now and say, okay, we're giving away $100,000 worth of tokens as a prize money, right? We want to also make sure that when people play it and they receive the tokens, they can actually go out and pay it out somewhere, right? Because if we don't do this right, we will lose the trust. We will create another scenario like FTX right now, where people putting their money in trusting in Web3, and then suddenly they wake up, good morning, and the money is gone, right? So we don't want to go out right now and saying, okay, you can play to earn, and then people play, and then they earn, but the things that they earned is now worth nothing because it disappeared. So I think we have to be very careful all, and we have to be true about this Web3 thing that, it's something that you will earn and that will come back to you. And then we have to make sure that we deliver to them. Otherwise, for them, it's just another mobile game, with the same experience, but not a big change, no revolutionary change.
I like that conservative look at it from that there's no revolutionary change in it, but I do fully agree with you as well. And that brings me to my next question. How will it affect current supporters? Will it propose a challenge, or will it propose an extension of the engagement journey of these current supporters? Tolly, if you'd let me know your opinion as well.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's an extension, and building actually more trust. So what we did, for example, with Sean and with Binance, right? We dropped 30,000 NFTs on 3 drops on Binance NFT, right? And what we told the community is that, if you get one of the 10 special flame cards, you will get invited to meet Neymar, to meet Dani Alves, for a meet and greet session, traveling with Sean Garnier, right? So the way we educated Sean's existing 20 million fans, right, is that, you already following him. You already get excited when you see videos when Sean is now meeting Neymar, and now we are actually allowing you the opportunity to be part of this. So we didn't go out and promoted something completely new to Sean's audience because it would have been very difficult. We didn't want to go in too technical about Web3, blockchain, etc. We just told them, hey guys, very simple. We're going to be dropping 10,000 NFTs on Binance. 10 of them going to be special edition cards, and you will be having the opportunity to travel with us to meet Neymar, to meet all these top players, right? To get invited to Dubai, in our podcast that we are launching now on Sunday. So this is how we promoted it in the beginning, to show that there is an additional benefit now through this technology coming to the fan audience, right? And, so that's where there's no challenge for us. The challenges actually would have been if we would come and try to educate them about what blockchain is and how it works and decentralization. That would have been a big challenge. But we kept it very simple. Go and buy your NFTs on Binance. We will create a game. You can use it in the game. And as a reward, we will choose 10 of you every month to meet the #1 superstars. Everyone in Sean's audience understood it. And the most beautiful part is his audience actually grew from 60 million followers to 20 million followers since we started this whole activation campaign with Binance. So that confirms that it actually only grew the audience and it was an extension.
I love how you look at it from the perspective of being an opportunity more than a challenge. It's a very healthy way because you're trying to fix the user experience itself. So I really love the approach, Tolly. Thank you very much. And Xander, if you would please give me your opinion about the same. How do you think it will affect current supporters? Will it propose a challenge, or do you also see it as an opportunity?
Yeah, of course, there will be some challenges. So for me, because TopGoal has been released, a lot of people are playing it every day, and there are a lot of transactions from the NFT, the player cards, and people are playing like a coach and playing 60,000 games every day. So for now, we have digital services. We have voting rights for a lot of clubs, and we are building emotional value for some real supporters of the stars. So I'm thinking about is what kind of gamification or tokenization provides the most value to fans is yet to be discovered. I cannot answer this right now. So nothing can be done all at once. So it must be a long run. So just like the TopGoal's vision. So we will continuously explore that.
I really like your position where you're actually waiting to see where all the data will go, and then you'll be able to adjust around it. That's a very healthy outlook as well. And are there any educational benefits to Web3 football game? Xander, if you may continue, please.
Yes. So I think with VR devices, a Web3 football game can help to improve decision making for a player, especially for young boys and girls. So in Top Manager, if you are in a manual mode, you can enter a bullet time, and you have a few seconds to observe and make the best decision. So if the fans want, we can create a first-person version where you can enter the bullet time, and you know it's totally two different things from you watch the broadcast view of the match and standing in the field by yourself is totally different. So if you waste too much time, like 1 second, the defender will come too close and you don't have the space for a killer pass, right? So we can create hundreds or even thousands of different training cases, like solving puzzles. Different decisions will lead to different results. After you are familiar with those typical cases, you will have faster reaction in the real match and make better choices in the field, in the real world. So the host, would you please play the video? Like, is one kind of the case. The people with the ball always have multiple choices, and when and where you want to pass the ball. They don't have a single solution or the best one, but you always have a lot of different options. I see a bit of lags from here. So it's a pass and it's a fake move and to the center and it's a diving. That shows like 4 or 5 decisions in 5 seconds. That's the first one, second one, third one, fifth one. Imagine if you are in the first person angle. So what you can see is different from the audience, and you have limited time and limited angle of view to do the choices. So that one can help people understand football better probably in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that point, Xander. And Tolly, would you also kindly let us know from your perspective as well as your experience, what are are there any educational benefits to Web3 football games?
Absolutely. And this is exactly how we designed also our game, We had two choices. Are we going to create a game where, I play against you, Ahmed, and I just press the button faster than you and I beat you, right? Or are we developing a strategic card battle game where I have certain techniques, you have certain techniques, and I have to be very strategic how I attack you and how you defend me, right? And this is how our game actually works. It's a strategic card battle game, right? Which actually shows that the skills that Sean is doing, the tricks that he's doing, they can be defended, because we also want to build a real league and a real, format for that everyone can play. But now when people, we had 1.1 billion video views on Sean's content this year, right? When people watch him, they just think he's a magician, and he's doing this, and they are just like tricks that he can do. But they don't realize that the trick that he does can be used inside the game. And then you can actually also defend them, and you have a trick that can counter that, right? And this is exactly how we actually created the game. And this is why we launched always 4 character cards on Binance NFT and 6 skill cards, because the skill cards will be needed to play the game. And for us, when we zoom out and I look at it for 2-3 years, what we want to do is we want to educate the people who play the game how to do the tricks, how to master the tricks, how to defend the tricks, and how to beat people, also in the real world, not only in the game. So it's actually, a nice educational tool for us in order to create, more players in the real world.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Tolly. And I believe I'm actually very grateful that Sean just got connected back, because from an athlete branding perspective specifically, will Web3 be a platform worth leveraging on in comparison to Web2? And how will it pale against it? And how would be the comparison? If you can take that, Sean, I would really appreciate your experience on this subject.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
From an athlete branding perspective, will Web3 be a platform worth leveraging in comparison to the regular Web2 current existing platforms? And how will it be compared against from your own personal thought as an athlete?
Okay, as an athlete, I would say it's always good to look in the future, and the world is evolving. The way to consume content and the way to interact with fans is evolving. So to compare, as I said before, it's really hard because I don't think we have all the components now in Web3. It's still new. People don't know. Even I talk to my entourage, and they have, some of them have no clue what's happening in the Web3 industry, But so that's why we need to educate more and stuff like that. But as Tolly said, we need to be really careful in every step we do, not just doing a project to doing it. Is to understand the project, how it can benefit our audience, how it can benefit the fans, and for me it's always bringing my audience in the journey and explain them the benefit of the Web3. And when you educate your audience and when you give them value, they always give you back anyway. So as an athlete, I'm being in the industry since 15, 17 years now. And some people watch my video when they were 10 years old, and now, they're 25. And they say, oh, I remember that video. Okay, so maybe now I wish a 15-year-old boy watched my content and heard about Web3, and maybe in 10 years' time he will tell me, oh, I'm really happy because you teach me the way to buy NFT, you teach me the way to consume content in Web3, you introduced me my first wallet and everything. And, he will step ahead from all his friends because they will never pay attention on that. And, in 10 years' time, this fan will give you back because what you give him as a value now, it's really important. So that's the way I see it also, how I can give value to my audience as an athlete and also as a content creator.
Thank you very much, Sean, for that answer. We really actually value your athletic perspective from your experience. And Zander, if I would be able to ask you the same question, please. From an athlete branding, specifically because of how TopGoal is structured, how do you see that fitting into a Web3 platform? And would you think the Web3 platform is worth leveraging on? Which is unfair because you are already building a Web3 product. So I know that you think it's, of course, worth leveraging on.
Yes, because we are sitting here by now, so we all believe sports metaverse will eventually happen. And I can describe 3 cases which Web2 cannot do for now. The first one is the match day. On the match day, for some reason you don't have a ticket, you didn't go to a bar or a square, probably you can only watch the game in front of a TV or a computer. That's kind of lonely and don't have enough passion. But now with some VR devices, you feel like you are just sitting in the stadium. You can choose wherever you want to sit and watch the game on the stand, in the VIP box, or even on the coach seat. So you can hear every sound from the field. You can create a virtual online chatting group to talk to your family and friends simultaneously when you are in different parts of the world. And with some AR technology, you can see the real-time data in your glass. So that will be a brand new match day experience. And second case, after the match is over and you are not very happy with the result, maybe you think the coach is not smart as you are, and you want your team to be a rematch again. That can be achieved in the Web3, of course, because if you have a team in the virtual world, you can have a paralleled football, like a World Cup or paralleled Championship Cup, and you have 3D simulation of the whole thing, and you play a virtual league. You have to own some NFT cards. You have to strengthen your team. You need some virtual jerseys or club souvenirs to make your club stronger. So everything can be a closed loop. in the future in a very short time. And third one, like you want to join in some events of the club, like welcoming a new player, or the news release of an important match, or even a New Year celebration. Maybe you can create your own avatar, walk into the virtual stadium, look around, you will see everything happening just like in a live stream. And just beside you, there are all new friends you can get to know, and you don't need to walk out of your home, and you don't have social stress about that. Just you feel like you just can be part of the event. So we are working on this kind of things, and I believe like in 2 or 3 years, everything can be achieved. Host, thank you.
Thank you very much, Zander. And Tolly, last but not least, we'd really value your opinion on the subject of athlete branding. Again, I'm sure that you think Web3 is a platform worth leveraging on because you are building in it. But how do you think it will pale against Web2 environments that currently exists?
Absolutely. And I don't think only we can leverage in the future. I will tell you 2 strong use cases, how we leverage already this year. Use case number 1, we went to Brazil to, scout talent, and people that will be part of the Binance NFT drop and become in-game characters. So we scouted 3 talent. Out of the 3 talent that we scouted, 2 also got a contract after that with Decathlon, right? Which is a merchandising brand. Because what we promoted, very simple, is that we're going to create the NFT, which is a virtual merchandising of the athlete, right? And because the brands like Decathlon saw an opportunity and say, whoa, now they're going to promote this athlete through Binance NFT to millions of people, these brands then jumped in and, signed an agreement to have these players also as a brand ambassador. So if you look at the Binance NFT drop for the Brazil edition, 2 out of the 3 players are wearing Decathlon shirts. So we actually leverage the Web3 strategy that we're doing, creating virtual merchandising of these athletes, and allow these athletes then to sign additional contracts with merchandising brands. So Brazil, we had a very strong use case with Decathlon. And then we had another use case in England with a player who is a brand ambassador of Under Armour, right? So we went out there again, we talked with Under Armour and the agent, and they only saw that as an additional benefit because the player that we scouted in England, right, was already a brand ambassador of Under Armour, and having then his NFT on Binance as a virtual merchandising, promoted is only more leverage. And that helped this player also now to extend his agreement with Under Armour. So we are already leveraging, our Web3 strategy and helping these players to get stronger brand deals with companies like Under Armour, Decathlon, and some other ones I can't reveal yet. But absolutely, yeah, we are already leveraging this.
Thank you very much for that answer, Tolly. And that brings me to a final stage of my questions today. We're going to take audience questions after a moment, after I ask you if you have anything to add on. I just wanted to highlight that we're giving away 1,000 glory passes for our listeners. Please find the link on BNB Chain Official in the comments and follow it to know how. Zander, Sean, and Tolly, thank you very much for being here today. Would you like to add any more comments from your respective experiences to the football and Web3 gaming topic that we have not covered today? Please, the floor is all yours. Zander, if you'd like to say something, please go ahead.
Yes, I hope that everyone who is watching the live event, the team you support will play beautiful football in the World Cup and have good result, maybe in TopGoal or in the ExSports apps. Have a good time. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Zander. Sean, if you would like to add something.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if my camera, I don't know what's happened, it's not working, but I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in for this live. And yeah, if you watch this video and you have some questions, don't hesitate to send us some message directly, because might be some stuff you didn't understand or some part of the project is not clear. Don't hesitate to interact. That's why we are here for, and it's a really pleasure to have this conversation with you guys.
Sean, thank you very much for being here, and without even the difficulties, we really value your time and you answering our questions from your own unique perspective. So again, thank you very much, Sean, for allowing us the opportunity to learn from you. Tolly, if you would kindly have anything to add, we'd be more than happy to hear you. And then I'm going to check what kind of questions our commenters have for us.
Perfect. Yeah. Also, thanks again for having us here today. For anyone who is in Dubai this month, we will have actually 2 amazing activation zones. One is going to be at the View of the Palm at the St. Regis Hotel. It's going to be an exclusive event where we're launching the podcast with Sean, challenging 18 different celebrities, including Ronaldinho and some other big names, in playing the game and participating a mini league, right? But then also for our audience, everybody who wants to come try the game and have the opportunity to win big prizes, we're going to have our activation zone starting on Monday until the 18th December at the Emar Beachfront FIFA fan zone. So we're going to have a huge setup there, a football pitch. Anyone who wants to come and play there is welcome. And we will also have our activation zone there so people can come, play the game, and participate in a little mini league that we are doing with big prizes.
Thank you very much for that addition, Tolly. I don't see any questions that requires the answers in English, at least. There's a few questions in Russian from our Russian audience, but we'll make sure to figure out how we can translate that in order to be able to reply them. That's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Xander from TopGoal, Sean, ExSports, and Tolly Markets also from ExSports. Again, thank you, everyone, for your time. I've been your host, Ahmed Haimer from the BNB Chain Gaming team. Have a fantastic day ahead of you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the work.